Esto es Nandología.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Nandología. Today we're doing things a bit differently. The first thing you will notice is, of course, that this episode is in English, but I think that this topic warrants to be spoken in that language. It's a bit more uh, international, if you will. But he now usually I have one guest, a single guest when it comes to each episode of Nandología. In this case, I have the pleasure to be joined by three different guests who are also my work colleagues and dear friends. And I want to introduce each one. We have Alex Guilarte, who is a product designer. Hi, Alex.
Hey Nando, thank you for bringing us there.
Of course, of course. We also have Daniel Almonacid, also a product designer. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Nanda. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.
Course. And last but of course not least, we have Lizeth Duarte, also product designer. We're all designers here, but hey, Liz.
Yeah, thank you, Nando. Thanks for having us.
Of course, my pleasure. And yeah, like I said, they're all product designers, as am I. And the thing we have in common is that we're part of the same team. Actually, the team that we work on is what we call a design squad. We will get into definitions in a bit, but basically, one of the things that we've been sort of thinking about and noticing as we've all had experience in design is a lot of companies have this, what we would call this design potential. Maybe they have like a very good product, they have this very good idea, and if it just had the right design and the right team, it would have these amazing results. But as we all know, usually when companies need design, they hesitate a lot before actually going to hire design. When hiring does happen, hiring is usually painfully slow. And traditional agencies that also handle design usually like hand off a document or a deliverable and they sort of disappear, right? There's not like this, um, I would say like this company from that design or design team throughout the process. And the model that we are working on, all of us today, the one that we call Design Squad, we think that it solves a lot of these issues because it embeds itself within an organization, like not just as, like co-workers, but actually within the culture, within the decision making. And the design process ends up being a lot more integral, if you will. So we want to get more into that. And, I have my fellow designers here because I want to hear different perspectives. So I think the first question that we have, so, for the audience is, what is a design squad? Why does this model even exist in the first place? So let's hear from, let's see, I think Liz wants to speak. So Liz, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Okay, in my perspective, a design squad is about merging two different worlds into one. So we don't just work for a client, we actually become part of their internal team. And after a while, I've learned to align our culture with theirs until the line between us just disappears. And the great thing about this is that we don't just drop a file and say goodbye, we stay. And we are like, I want to say, the memory of the project. And we know every decision was made. And that helps the client build something better and faster over the time.
Right, right, right. Also want to hear from, let's see, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, no, exactly what Lee says. For me, a design squad, or what we are building here as a design squad, is a task force for specialists who do the support in the entire process of the client in general, whatever the client is, with a strategy, with product solutions, with design thinking, and of course with tons of agile solutions that could bring better results in general, right? We follow the client, we do it and try to follow up. We are always part of the process from
Mhm.
scratch to the deliverable and less and less. That's part of what we are. wanted to provide here as a design squad, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and something that I would add to that is, I think it's, usually design is thought of as like having pixel perfect
Yeah.
deliverables, as we said,
Mhm.
And this is more, I mean, we also focus a lot on the business strategy, like
Totally. Yeah.
it's a lot of it has to do a lot with the product. But before I continue, I'm sorry, I want to also hear from Danny. We haven't given her the
Okay,
opportunity to speak,
thanks. No, it's okay. I think that also a design squad is like what happened on the inside
Mhm.
because we are part of the team of the client. We're not a resource. We don't come from the outside, even though we are like from the outside. From the outside, sorry, we are actually part of the client. We are part of the conversations. We are part of the decisions. We try to understand the context and try to get involved in in the whole life of the product. And at the end, that's gonna give us like better results. So I think it's not just as everyone was saying, it's like have great deliverables, but it's also like being part of the decisions, being part of the whole problem, not just the solution at the end, but just the whole problem, and understand the context. I think that also like being part of the team with the client is understand the needs not from the outside again, but from the inside and understand like what they really need from the business perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also, I mean, since we are also, I think that since we're also like part of the internal process in a way, um, there's also this chance to learn how their processes work, their internal organizational, I don't know, policies or maybe like we've all worked with clients where they already have this pre-designed, maybe they have a design system, maybe they have this handoff process, or maybe they have, all these things that we kind of understand them from the inside. And of course, we also can understand, okay, how can we, maybe polish this a bit, or how can we make this a bit more efficient because we have that internal vision, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
would like to add something. Sorry,
of course,
Nando.
go ahead.
Yeah, I will say that also trust is a huge part the
Hmm.
of what is a design squad because the clients trust in us and we have a huge responsibility that is shared. It's not only our own responsibility, it's shared with the team, and that's something that they trust in us. So I think that is also a huge part of what it is a design squad.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um.
absolutely. Oh, go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. And part of that is it's that we are really involved in the client's process
Hmm.
and with tons of multidisciplinary specialists that help us not only bring the design solution and create the experiences for the users in general, but also help us understand the process itself, the process internally, because that's part of the work of the design squad, get combined in the entire workflow of the client, not only like providing a service, providing what we really know, what we can afford to the team. Not it's not only that, it's also understand holistically all the streams internally on the team, right? So that's part of what we can provide as a design squad. That's part of what we are. So that's really important to mention because there's tons of streams that we are usually get involved into. So part of that is understand the common goals of everyone in the company.
Hmm.
So that's the reason why we are not externally hired or a contractor hired. We are part of the company as a task force. That's what I will mention. That is a design squad for me. Huh?
Right. And
Yeah,
I really like what you mentioned about being a multidisciplinary team, like I feel
yeah,
like especially in the product design world, we all have like these different backgrounds. Like maybe someone comes from industrial design, maybe someone comes from like I come from communications, for instance,
yeah,
and we all bring different perspectives. So as the squad is also an opportunity to have all those different angles, right? So it ends up being I think it uh, results in a more complete product, if you will, because all these visions are being considered. So
yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Totally right.
I just want to add to that. I love that hybrids create such a diverse team, with
Mm.
people from all kinds of backgrounds, as you say. And we don't just work as a designers, we truly learn from each other every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I I really agree with that. Um and yeah, I mean this gets a bit into I think the next question because um being in such a big squad, I mean we're currently in a what like a 20 plus team, 20 plus member team, and it's a big team, I myself I've been in design teams but very like much smaller than that. So I think it creates opportunities for I guess both good surprises and surprises that make you learn stuff in a sense. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what do you think is a moment where the squad dynamic surprised you in a good or even a hard way? And, who wants to speak?
I love this question. I can start. Yeah, as Dani mentioned before, the thing that really surprised me is about the trust. In many places, feedback can feel like an attack and it's scary. But here it's just help. For example, there are times when I'm working on a very complex flow, like those technical flows that can be a bit overwhelming. And sometimes I get blocked. And in other places, you might feel like the pressure to have all the answers. But here I just share my work and say, I'm stuck. What do you think? And it's amazing because immediately people from the squad jump into the file and no one is judging. Everyone is just building on top of each other ideas. And that's when I realized that we don't work as individuals. We actually work as a collective intelligence. And it's a very
Yeah,
safe space to grow. And honestly, that's why the work turns out so well in my perspective.
I love that
yeah,
term, collective intelligence. That is such a cool term. Uh,
Yeah.
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 And I will add something to that is that as you all already know, what I mentioned about that the multidisciplinary team, it's something interesting also happens to me that I will support with this phrase. This while we're learning, we're also teaching. Part of what we do as a design squad is teaching processes, teaching innovation, and teaching how we can better approach a solution in a product. But also we are learning from the client's perspective, the client's understandings, what we know the bank can reach in communion using design thinking and using our methodologies. We are learning, and part of that learning is if what make us professionals as a design squad. What make us specialists on where it is fintech, where it is banking, where it is e-commerce, whatever it is. That's part of what we can provide to a team entirely. Learn and teach at the same moment, and then create something, merge everything to create something really meaningful for us all as a professionals. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. And
great.
and maybe talking about the multidisciplinary and everything. Like
yeah,
for me, for example, when someone raised like their hand with any question or any doubt, you start to bring people to the conversation. There's no like friction. It's like you're
yeah,
actually talking to the developers, talking to the partners. So you just start to bringing people into the conversation, and you start to bring in ideas. So
yeah,
and you said, Alex, like we are learning, and not only us as a squad, the client is also learning because we are also here to like improve the team and the work together. So for example, for me it happens the last couple days that we just there was like a question and we work with the different teams, and at the end we said like, next time we should do this and that because it's going to be better and we're not going to have the same question at this point. It's going to be like easier for us for to like to handle. And I like to feel like those kind of things that I can bring my ideas, we can all talk together, have a great conversation, and it's gonna ended up like really well. So that's something that I really
yeah,
really like.
And I mean, to that, Danny, I mean, I want to ask something, but I think I know the answer. And it's that when that happened, like, oh, maybe we can improve it this way, this way. It doesn't feel I imagine that it doesn't feel judgmental, right? Like it's more it's always forward looking, forward facing, but in a good way, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Totally, totally. And something that I really appreciate, like working with the team, is that anytime that something like this happen, it's like you don't feel judged. You actually, like, someone is telling you, like, thank you so much for bringing this up to the conversation. Like, actually, thank you. This is not an issue. This is not a problem. It's actually something that we appreciate because we have to take this in consideration. So yeah, I feel that you never feel like judged. You never feel like bad for raising your hand. You're actually bringing something that is important into the conversation. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
trial and error. Yeah, it's this Lean UX principle that iterating everything and failing is not necessarily a fail. It's part of the learning. It's part of the things we can improve, and we are usually working like that as a squad. Improving the
Yeah,
things we already test and we know that works, and all the things that we know that doesn't work, but we took that as an area of opportunity to improve the following solutions. Yeah. So and that not only include like physical or practical solutions, that also include like team dynamics, team sessions, how we collaborate, how we can better communicate with the team, how we can bring better ideas, how we can better understand the the general overall of the goals of the client without having the necessity of creating friction with the team, without absolutely being a team at all. So that's part of the things I wanted to bring up too. Being a team is also collaboration. Being a team is also learning and trail and fail. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, I
totally.
love that you mentioned. Oh, sorry, Danny, you were gonna say something.
No, go ahead. I was just saying, yeah, I agree too.
Agreeing, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, Alex, I love that you mentioned the whole Lean UX principles because, I mean, for example, one of the things that has surprised me in a very good way is I think we all love the whole multidisciplinary angle, right? But I love how much everybody knows so much about their specific fields. Like, I think I've never met someone before who is so into the whole Lean UX philosophy, right? That's Alex. Alex is always like, this is Lean UX, this is Lean UX. But I love that,
Yeah.
because that is very that complements me in very good ways, and I hope it's a two-way street, right? So I can learn through that, and all the expertise that everyone brings
Yeah.
in ways that I would have never thought by myself. So I mean, it's a constant learning opportunity, and so yeah, I mean, I myself love that. I've been very pleasantly surprised with that. Hmm.
Yeah, totally. Like, I feel that we all have like something very special. We're like a mix of a lot of things. And so it's really fun. Like, the first time I talked to Alex, he was telling me about Lean, and I was like, oh my God, he's so smart. He's so cool. We're gonna learn a lot.
Yeah.
Great.
And the
Yeah.
first time I talked to Danny was like, oh yes, I teach UX. I was, oh
Oh
my
yeah.
god, literally you're a teacher. That it was impressive for me. So that's part of the professionals we are currently hiring on the design squad, and that's special because our great human beings, great professionals, people who have crafting abilities that are really impressive and incredible that I myself have been watching and on day to day. So it's really, really, really great to work here as a design squad and all the energy of the people, all the energy of the team, and the solutions for client. That's everything we all needed as a work
Yeah.
environment. Yeah,
Sorry. Something that I would like to add is
Hmm.
we had a chance to meet the client at some point, and it was a great opportunity. And I think that's something that surprised me a lot, talking about this question, is that they were like super open about like our culture. We're like super loud, and you know jokes and everything. So it was not only like the professional like bounding, but it was also something like more personal, which it was amazing.
yeah.
And that ends
And
up showing up. Go ahead, go ahead. I'll say
don't
my.
worry, on that there's something really interesting on that. I in my entire career I have like 10 years working as a UX designer, but
Mm.
all the time I work remotely. I never like have that physical connection with the team, with the client in general. and something that I really appreciate and something that I really feel when the first time that happens working with hybrids as a design squad was that I understand in a really personal and physical way all the perceptions, all the common goals on all the any of the aspects, any of the resources can bring into the table as a design squad, and that personal connection as a team is something that was valuable for me and really motivates me through all the activities we're currently working with the client. So that was really meaningful for me. I think that physical connection is of course important. I love remote working. I think we have all been in the opportunity to remotely working, but when eventually we meet together in person, that it's something that also creates some kind of energy boost of creativity, of innovation, of everything. Also, that is also really important for me, and it's something that is lively happening in the design squad. So, cheers for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that it's awesome that you mentioned that, like, you get a creativity boost. I think creativity loves company, and the company of people
Yeah,
who are as as motivated or even more motivated than you are, in many ways. And what Danny was mentioning, like, there's always this, uh, there seems to be this sharp divide between what do you call that? The work-life balance, like there's work and there's their personal life. But
yeah,
they kind of bleed into each other a bit. So when you get like these personal moments, like for example, meeting someone in person that you work with or bonding with your team, that ends up also showing up in your work, I think, you I mean, it's amazing, that you get more ideas. Things flow easier. Or, for example, if you want to you need feedback from someone, you're more willing to take it, or you're more willing to give feedback yourself. Like it all flows more, so much smoother, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm agree. I think it's not just about the technical side or the creative side. I believe that we are truly good people who are always curious and always willing to learn and help to each other. And I think that that's amazing. And that's the key to be a great team like us.
Like us.
like us. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Exactly, exactly, yeah. And I mean, we've been talking a lot about like how what we've been learning from each other, and I'm curious to ask you guys, uh, how do you feel your growth as designers and as people has been within the squad? And like to add like an appendix to that question is, how do you think that growth shows up in the work that clients actually receive?
Mm.
This is
I
a great, but Danny, go ahead.
okay, yeah, I like this question actually. um, yeah, I think that for me it's been like finding a stronger like purpose on the work that I'm doing. Just being part of the squad, as we were saying, like at the beginning. This is my cat Molly.
Of course.
Like we were saying at the beginning, is we're part of the team, and that's something that exposes us to many different perspectives, talking to so many people, from designers to product partners to like different teams. That's also something that is pushing me, for example, to grow as a professional and also as a person, because I'm starting to understand and learn from different points of view, just to understand how people think, how the decisions are made in such a big companies, and also how to navigate on the complexity of like in a more thoughtful way. So that's been something like great for me. And another thing that I would like to highlight also is that we were talking about how we work as a team, like in hybrids, because we are a mix of so many like amazing things. For example, we have been having some kind of like working sessions with accessibility team, and for me, it's been amazing. Like I have learned
yeah,
so many things. I have resolved so many questions that I knew I have it, and I kind of like resolved it by myself, but I wasn't like sure about it. And it's been just something that I really enjoyed. Like I really, really like those sessions. It's been great. And like for example, I feel that I'm more into accessibility now that I'm learning, and that's something that I didn't know that I really really like. So that's something that it's been so amazing to learn from your colleagues.
Yeah, and something that I wanted to mention is that uh, all those accessibility workshops that I've been doing and all the focus that our current client I've been having on accessibility is it's something that really motivates me to learn more about how we can really bring more accessible and scalable products in general. No,
Mhm.
what's the solution? What's really the boundary between being a really UX oriented, human centered product versus being a that plus accessibility holistically oriented? No, and that's part of the motivation and growth that I've been having on working with hybrids in the design squad. Uh, I started learning about Gestalt. I started learning about visual perception and how every all of that tools are really being involved. And part of the evangelism of, let's say, accessibility that I currently have because of what we are learning is that I tell all the team, all the design squad that is currently working on myself, like, hey, this is something really valuable. Try to do this course, and all the team is not like doing or learning about visual design or visual perception and gestalt principles and stuff like that. That really works as a, you know, has has really benefits on the current industry that we are working as a design squad. So accessibility is a key and it's something that we have been really focusing about it on the design squad. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm agree with you. For my
yeah,
part, my mindset has changed a lot. Before, I used to be obsessed with having the perfect answer immediately, and I want the final design right away. But since I joined this squad, I've learned to be comfortable with the messy middle of design. You know, that part of the process where things are confusing and we're still figuring out. Now I don't panic. I just trust the process. I also I've realized that being a great designer is maybe 20% about the tools and 80% about how you manage relationships. I think
yeah,
it's about communication, understanding people, and solving complexity together. If you get the part right, the human part right, the design part flows naturally.
yeah.
I
Oh,
love
and
that you mentioned that. Yeah, go ahead, and I'll talk later. Yeah.
no, and something that just to quickly add something is that we learn tons of empathetic actions
Oof.
working with working
Oh
with
yeah, yeah,
stakeholders that are
true.
not specialists on product design, stakeholders that are specialists on different types of industries that have tons of learnings, have tons of knowledge that really works and provide to us benefits on our workflow in general, but the empathetic, learning the process, learning how we can better work together, how we can better communicate, how we can better do the solution as a team. That's something that we learn so far here in the design squad. And that's something that we daily apply. Daily we are applying being empathetic persons in general with our teammates, with our coworkers, with the stakeholders, with the team that are not really involved in our processes. Everyone really gets that part of what we are providing as a design squad with the empathetic, with tons of design thinking, of course. That's also valuable on the solution. Yeah. So that's something I wanted to add related of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
at the end, building for people. I love to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Building for
Exactly.
people.
yeah,
yeah, at least you mentioned something about the messy middle. I really like that perspective because actually no, I mean the messy middle, but there's another part where you said I think it was 20% tools, 80%
Yeah,
relationships, I think you said.
yeah. How you manage
How
relationships.
you manage relationships. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, like when you first start out in design, as you said, like I think we it's very natural to get very focused and very obsessed with, I don't know, learning Figma, for example, or
Yeah,
learning auto layout and that sort of thing. And as you kind of like start scaling up, you're like, oh, but it's less um about that perfection and a lot more about I mean first you kind of see it as, okay, how do I sell this idea? How do I
Yeah.
actually establish a good rapport with the person I'm working with, that sort of thing. And actually, I think that, for example, for me, in the projects we've been working on, in the last, I don't know, whatever number of months, it's been a lot more about that, about navigating that relationship complexity, if you will, getting people to agree, but not getting them to agree in the sense of um of convincing everyone that your idea is the best. No, but actually like, okay, how do we agree? But how does how do we make this something that everyone has contributed to? Actually, that's something that happened. Danny mentioned that we had a chance to had this kind of like a meet and greet or get together with one of our clients. That was something that happened. We had a workshop, and there was this sense of, okay, but what other efforts have been done that were similar to this one, by our internal teams? How do we get everyone to chime in, So this becomes a very, as I don't remember who it was who said collective intelligence. It was Yulis, I think,
Yeah, it was.
or
Yeah, I
yeah,
know
yeah,
that's
yeah.
question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it becomes this very collective thing, like it's not my idea. This gets back to, I think there was an idea about egos. It's not my idea. I'm not the one. I'm like, it's not about being the designer who celebrated. It's about how do we get the best product from everyone's perspective, So, um, yeah, I mean, that has been a very interesting experience that, as was mentioned before, it motivates me to grow more, like how can I be better in a sense. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, soft skills, how it's about communication, it's about learn from others, and no one here is judging. It's just it's really just help, and that's the great thing about this.
Yeah, and I will also add that even though we are looking to have like the best solution at the end, we are not like always thinking about the final solution. Like the process is what is most important for us. And I feel that when we have such an amazing process on our work with the team, like understanding the product, the context, everything, talking to everyone, when we have such a nice way to work, the product, the final product, it comes like so naturally at the end. So it's just we have like great deliverables because the process that we have like the whole time is being great with the team and with everyone. So yeah.
Mhm.
That's it.
Do you guys feel that there well, I think this kind of relates to the whole in UX thing, but do you feel that there's been like some kind of optimization has happened when compared to maybe traditional teams of how design teams work when compared to this one?
Well, I think that daily every solution was based on optimization.
Okay.
Yeah, in general, because we as a team all the time as a design squad try to optimize processes,
Mhm.
optimize methodologies, optimize how we can better deliver something without giving too far away with the final approach of the client. And usually we took as a design squad, or the process that originally we made is understand the current client's processes, understand what part of these processes are really failing or can be better, have better chance of opportunity, and grab what really works. That usually are there's a tons of valuable parts of the client's process that usually works. Use that as a main core motivation to optimize the rest of the process that currently fails and create something new, something that works for everyone. For example, the way we now receive feedback, the way now that we create a handout file documentation for the dev team, the way that now we analyze metrics, information, product UX research investigations that we already provide in the past, how we can optimize this information to have a more real facing versus what is currently working in the modern more an industry of whatever the client currently is, you know. So that's part of the optimization. I think optimization is something that happens daily in our activities, and we are also trying to create the boundaries and the guidelines of how to better practically work with these optimizations for the people of the design squad that are being joining in the future, you know. So yeah, that's what I think about optimization. I think it's something that it's lively happening daily. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm agree with you guys. Basically, I feel that we don't just optimize deliveries, we optimize the way that we communicate and the way we work together with the client every day.
Yeah, and we are not just bringing like everything new and changing everything for the client. We're actually working with them with what they have and to optimize like everything from that, not like changing the whole thing and changing the whole process. No, we're actually working together. And that's like, I think that's one of our goal as design squad, just work all together with what we currently have, not like making like let's change everything that you're doing because it's bad. No, it's just like working with what you have to optimize and make things like more smoother and just having like yeah, like I don't know how to say like enhance like the process and everything.
Yeah.
So
I
exactly,
totally
and
agree with that.
yeah, and I think that I mean, um, again, I see a lot in I guess in social media, I see people talking about like, for example, improving processes, but the way they usually think about it is, as Danny mentioned, like let's uh, uh like do it all from scratch, and in a lot of companies that's not realistic, it's not realistic,
That's
and
not realistic, never.
yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's not realistic, and I mean, a lot of the times it even becomes a lot less efficient, I would say, because starting from scratch every single time and having to learn this whole new process again, and like so actually working in conjunction with the client with what they have, I think I mean, that does end up being a lot more optimizing, maybe. That I don't know if
yeah.
that's the correct word, but yeah.
No, and you know something interesting about that is that part of the part of the things we learn and we provide and we have the capacity of execute is that we grab all these existing processes or
Hmm.
existing design valuables or existing whatever currently exists on the client, and we don't change it, and we do not create nothing from scratch, as you already mentioned. What we do is grab that all valuable knowledges and merge with what we currently know
Hmm.
about how to better create processes, how to better create solutions, whether it's UX, whether it's accessibility, whatever it is, we always try to create a really great merge and not like replacing processes, especially because we are usually working with really big clients that has years in the industry, years working with processes I already know. So the question here is how we can grab what a big client currently have internally, get into the flow of that processes and merge that with something better and optimized that also can be really can fit into internally client processes. Yeah. So that's something that we are always face day to day because we are working usually with really big clients that have already established processes that usually has really great opportunity areas that we can optimize as a design squad. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel that it's a great challenge, like
Yeah.
when I started here, I was thinking like it's so cool to be part of something that you can help to build together, like not just learn from them how to do things or just bring like all new things to the team. It's just working together to create something cool, something that works for everyone, and something that at the end is going to have like a great impact, because that's something that I've
Yeah.
been seeing like in the last couple months, that we have been creating such a great like relationship with the client. I feel that we have been having more impact on what we are doing, because the way that a design squad works.
Yeah, totally. And it's amazing to me to imagine it that the designs that we are creating are there for people who will actually use it. It's not only for us or for our portfolio, it's for real people. And that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been I agree this, it's amazing. We've been speaking a lot about working with the client, right? But I think that getting the client to, I guess, go from being just curious to convinced about how we work, or getting into this model, that can be a challenge. So, what do you think is like that moment that a client goes from being just curious about working this to being convinced that what does working together with a client look like once, they're in, they're locked?
I want this one.
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yours.
No, it's valuable. It's really interesting what you mentioned, because part of the way we can combine as a client, what we're doing is get the client to our process in general. It's a collaborative process. It's not an individual process. Something that I already again mentioned Lean UX is that usually in Lean UX we are trying to give them really far away from people who works alone, people who are like the book usually mentioned as a UX design rock stars, UX design ninjas, people that all the time, manage to work alone. Working alone it's great. It's not about stuff, but in this kind of important collaborative environments, we really need to get everyone into the process. Yeah, it's important to everyone to understand what we are doing, not only in design wise, but also in product decisions, but also in UX solutions and accessibility, design thinking, whatever we're really working on focusing on that moment, and create an union, create a community in what we are currently the solution we are currently providing at general. So that's part of the things that I think we usually face working with such important client, is that we don't really need to only get into a mid monthly just to give results. No, what we really need is getting together all these results as a team. Getting one into the train of results and fight together to create the best solution. Explaining the stakeholders, explaining all the streams in generally that are involved in clients, a hiring board, and use the product solutions, use design thinking, use Lean UX, use really modern, especially focus on teammates collaboration tools together to bring a solution. Yeah, that's what I think that really works on working with a client. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I will say that maybe also when they start to rely on the model, not just trying to understand, but when they start to like really rely on the design squad model, like as you were saying, and at the beginning, they're like very curious about how this is gonna work, especially around a nearshore team. That
Mhm.
Yeah.
they wonder, are they gonna fit with us on our day to day like work? But at the end, it just we are not external. Like the whole process makes that we don't feel like an external team. We are part of the team, as we have been saying on this whole time, and it like everything gets so natural at the end. So
Yeah.
when we start to feel that like unity, I feel that's when the client start to rely on like the model and how things are getting done.
Yeah, I'm agree with you, Danny and Alex. What is truly amazing to me is how we connect as humans, even with the distance. Because think about it, we live in different countries, we speak different languages, and we have different cultures. And sometimes the client feels far away. But
Yeah.
at high, we have this, I want to say, superpower to close that gap. And for me, it was a game changer to see my leader not just as a boss, but as a support network and even as a friend. And when you have that level of trust, you actually feel excited to share your ideas and grow together. And that human connection is what makes the partnership with the client successful. And it's not business. I think it's, as I said before, is it's people building things for other people.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
totally agree with that.
I definitely like, I mean, I think back to other other teams I've worked on and other client relationships that I've had. And, like I think the thing that I really like about the relationships that we've built here is, as you mentioned, Liz, like there's this motivation to um be better, or perhaps like I'm always thinking about ways to like maybe I have this idea, maybe it happens outside of work. I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. Like you get really invested in the work, I would say. And um another thing that came to mind was uh I mean, we're part of the same team, but like we're kind of like in, I would say, different projects that all align into the same product in a sense.
Mhm.
And of course, when we're like in the kind of this cell structure, each cell or each team ends up having like this methodology, and that it's very easy to become what people usually call siloed. Like they have each their very own process, and that becomes invisible, right, until it's too late. And I really like that in this case, I felt like there's this really big effort into, or I felt this really big effort into, okay, what is actually happening within each team? How can we align into each other? And it's really difficult, because when each team has become so accustomed to a methodology or to this way of working or this way of having this template for these designs or whatever it is, um, usually, I guess people are resistant to change, but in this case, I think we've been trying to align as much as we can, and that has been really refreshing, I would say.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
ideas are shaped together as a team. So,
Hmm.
mhm.
Yeah, to create, a way of everyone can share knowledge, share solutions, create a starting point or a point of connection with all of the cells to understand all the processes, to get that processes to, for example, use on my daily work, or to provide my process in the another team daily work, so we cannot create that silo feeling. That's an important part of the agile methodologies in general. And we as a design squad, we all the time are trying to provide agile solutions, and usually that involves being really everyone together and understand all the steps and all the processes the other teams are being currently doing. Yeah, and stuff related to that. So that's really important of getting really a step away of the silo in general. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say I would like to add something that has been really like great for me to have like to feel better like on the way that I'm working and everything is that since day one we have been learning a lot about not only the client but also the final user. Even though
Yeah.
we don't have maybe those products here and we are not, yeah, we don't have them. It's like I thought, like, it's gonna be easy. Yeah, it's gonna be hard because we don't have those kind of products. We like I've never used those kind of things. But since day one, we have been learning so many things about the final user. So like that I feel that I know them, like I can understand what they actually need. And we get so involved over the whole flow of the product that at the end is like it's a great challenge to try to work on something that you are actually not using, and like your context is not
Yeah.
it's not people that are going to be using the product, but you still have the understanding and you still have the knowledge to work with it and have like great deliverables. So that's something that is it's been great from for me being part of the design squad, like feel really inside of the team, not only on the process but also on the knowledge. Like
Yeah.
we know so many things now that I think that that's like making everything so much easier because we understand like the final user.
Mhm.
I love that. It's about learning every day, right? Learning that not just about designs, but about people who need those experiences. And I think that's great.
And took that learning and create conversion. That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, we're kind of nearing the end of this conversation. It's been, I mean, I love to speak about a lot of things in general, I think, but I mean, to speak about, I guess, the work that we do every day is always, I mean, I always find it, endearing and thrilling, like, uh, I guess as we've been talking so much about motivation, it motivates me even more. But before we end this, I would like to hear from each one of you one thing that you're taking away from this conversation. It can be into your personal life or maybe into your day to day. What do you guys think? Who wants to start?
Yeah, I can start. So I think for me, not only in the professional but also in my personal life, I feel that we talk a lot, and I also thought about it before, but just like hearing everyone
Mhm.
talking today is just we talk a lot about team and collaboration and trust, share ownership, and like the value of working with people. I think
Mhm.
that's like the main thing that I will say I will highlight from this conversation, and like the outcome at the end from all like working with humans and working with people uh, is what I enjoy at the end of working with a design squad. It's just you feel really comfortable.
Mhm.
It's great.
Yeah, and that all of us are genuinely connected in terms of that uh, all of us are walking in the same direction, Nando, Danny, Lisa, myself. That's something that I've taken from this conversation at all. It's 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 beautiful for me to know I understand what you all think on all your processes and see that everyone are really connected. We are walking the same direction. That's something that not usually happens on teams, mainly on teams that have a really big number of coworkers in general. So thanks you all for being such a great professionals. I really appreciate that, you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alex. Yeah, if I had to pick one big lesson from today, is that I feel we all bring something unique to the table. And I'm very proud of what we've built together. And yeah, thanks again, Nando, for the space.
Yeah, I think it was in I don't know, one of the workshops we did. I shared this meme image. If any of you watches, well, I know some of you watch anime, but um, there's this meme about how, like the big villain in an anime show usually like trains for like 10,000 years for a battle, and then the protagonists come up with the power of friendship, they defeat him, like it's supposed to be this funny thing. But I remember that I always looked at that meme and it was just funny and that's it. But when I looked at it again, within this team, it may sound a bit corny, but I'm like, I kind of understand that. But
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, I mean the friendship that is built here and that is what I take away, like when you work with so many like-minded people from many different backgrounds, I think that the results are amazing. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not a fictional power. For me it's a real world feeling. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
And
The
oh, you're gonna say something? Alex?
uh no, no, that's
That
everything I want to
that's
say.
okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, what if someone was just joining a design squad? What would you tell them?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome to Hogwarts. No, just kidding. Well, first of all, we are here for helping all the new hires on the design squad. We really appreciate being a team, being united as a team. We don't work as an individuals. We all the time work as a team. We're probably are going to look for you to help you tell tell you if everything is it's okay, if you need some support, if you need some guidance. Don't hesitate to join in. We are really uh, all the time like being team players, you know. So what I'm going to tell is please take this as an opportunity of learning, because you're going to learn tons of stuff, and probably you have to keep tons of information in your mind, but don't worry, be patient. We're here for helping you with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be open to like to learning, to like listen to different perspectives, to be open to feedback. And I'm gonna like highlight and just put like a huge like involved feedback, because I feel that something that is super important for us, and I've been talking to like different people here in Hybrids and in the design squad, is that we all like really appreciate feedback, and we all really like to give it and just enjoy like share our work and gather the thoughts of everyone. So I feel that feedback for us is something very important, so be really open for feedback and appreciate it like a lot, and feel fine not expecting to have all the answers from day one. You're gonna learn like every day something new, and everything is gonna feel so much like natural and like smoother like with the time passes. So yeah, don't be afraid, and it's fine to have questions. Feel free to raise your hand. As Alex was saying, we're here to help you if there's something we can help you with. So, and
Mhm.
yeah, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. That's the first thing. Just the other day, a new person joined us, and what they keep repeating from what we said was that this is a team that always are willing to help and support you,
Mhm.
and it's a team that will always be there for you, and that's wonderful.
Okay, awesome. So, if anyone hearing gets motivated, we're here for you.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here, Alex, Danny, Liz. It's been a wonderful conversation. I always enjoy talking with you guys. I mean, we've met in person, we've shared many moments. So, yeah, I hope there are many more conversations in the future. But for now, I just want to say thank you for being here.
Thank you,
Thanks to you,
Nando.
Nando, and team.
I really
Yeah.
enjoy it. It was so much fun.
And
Yeah.
thank you to our listeners. This was Nandología. Esto es Nandología.